Hello, Gorton. Welcome back to Book Center. I'm Paige Newberry.
And I'm Book Caldecott.
It's been an exciting week, Buck.
It has. We have some results in from the first round of games.
The first results show.
Yes.
Very exciting.
And what a wonderful setting we have. It's stationed in front. Oh, hello, Mrs. Olmsted. Stationed in front of the Corton Book Fair. I think a very, very fitting place to have a book bracket result.
Yes,
show.
Scholastic puts out some really nice books.
They do. Don't forget to visit the book fair during conferences, kids.
Fill out those wish lists.
Maybe you'll get some books from the bracket.
All right. Well, we need an update. We need some results.
We do. We have some scores. I have some scores for you.
This was exciting.
It was.
Why don't we start with the 3-5 bracket
Let's do
first?
it. Let's do it. Okay, so in our first matchup, we had the Hunger Games going against Winn-Dixie. The final score was 118 Hunger Games, 77 for Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie gave it their all, but they just didn't have enough.
See you later, Winn-Dixie. Yeah, out the door.
Right, done.
Better luck next time,
right?
Winn-Dixie.
In our next game, we had Percy Jackson going up against Stone Fox. And Percy Jackson put the beat down on Stone Fox pretty much. Yeah, it was 132 to 75.
Well, there's always next year.
Looks like Stone Fox died again.
Oh,
Sad.
just we're losing them
A little
left and
inappropriate,
right.
but it was sad. All right. I also had Wonder. We had Wonder, remember, going up against Edward Tulane. I always forget the name of that book when I'm trying to say it. This final score, I can't find.
That's okay.
Will you help me out there?
I don't think it was close, was
150 to 55. Wonder wins.
Wonder.
Goodbye, Edward.
Good showing.
Yeah. This was the best matchup of the first round.
Ooh, close one.
It was really close. Mighty Miss Malone. I'm lying. Mighty Miss Malone was not the best game. It was a different game.
Well, there was many good books.
There were some good books, but this game was not as close as I remembered it being, actually. Mighty Miss Malone beat the Series of Unfortunate Events very handily, 136 to 66.
Now, coming into this, which book would you have guessed would have fared better?
Well, I really felt like, this was going to be one of the closer matchups.
But it wasn't.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Sometimes that happens.
It does. It does.
The students surprise us.
They do. In the Harry Potter matchup versus the Lemonade War. We weren't expecting much from the Lemonade War, let's be honest. And Harry Potter beat them pretty handily, 130 to 73.
Wow. See you later,
See you
Lemonade
later,
War.
Lemonade War. Get out of here. We also had the Emerald Atlas against the Giving Tree. This was the blowout of the first round.
Wow.
You ready for this score?
I'm not. I don't think I
ready?
can handle it. I don't think I can handle it.
185
Wow.
to 26. They didn't even show
It's
up.
like they didn't even wake up.
They didn't. They did not even show up for this game. I think this is our new Cinderella story. This might take the tournament by storm.
I'll be surprised to see who Giving Tree goes up against in the next round, because
because that's going to
it
say a
could
lot.
be another favorite.
I mean, we're going to have a lot of powerhouses going against each other in the
I
next
know.
round.
This is where it gets really dicey. But
Right.
go ahead.
This is where
Let's
it gets
continue
exciting,
with the update.
All right, we had Powerless going up against Hoots.
I really liked Hoot.
Do you think Hoot was Hooterific or not? What do you think?
I'm gonna guess that Hoot. I'm gonna go with Hoot. Hoot had to have been Hooterific.
Hoot was not very Hooterific.
Oh no.
They lost 139 to 59.
Man, maybe next year, Hoot. There's
Maybe.
always next year. A
Maybe.
little practice.
Maybe. And our last score was The Unwanteds versus Out of My Mind. I was kind of surprised with this one. This was the one that was the closest matchup of the week.
Really?
Yes. Out of My Mind squeaked by with a 118 to 90 victory. Doesn't seem that close, but compared to all the other games, that was a pretty close game.
Yeah, and I remember a lot of students at Corton during the battle, when this was a battle book, they would repeat on the news, "Oh, it was my favorite, Out of My Mind." So
I did like that book.
I thought this would be actually like a landslide of Out of My Mind. But
You did?
I did. That was, but
See,
I'm a lower L kind of connoisseur of books, so
I might have been a little biased, I'm not going to lie. I read this book for the battle, and I liked it a lot. And a lot of kids came to my battle club. 40 kids showed up at my battle club for this book. So I thought it might have had a little more staying power. But Out of My Mind moves on.
Okay, so now, book.
Page.
The Elite Eight. Who made it to the Elite Eight, and who are the matchups?
Here we go. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We're going to have Hunger Games going up against the Percy Jackson series.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A series versus series.
Yeah.
That's dead even.
Yep. I mean, you know, the movie books always tend to do very well in tournaments like this, and this is 2 movie blockbusters going up against each other.
Okay.
It's going to be tough.
All right.
And this one's, I'm really interested to watch what happens with this one. We have Wonder going up against Mighty Miss Malone.
Ooh.
Those are 2 fan favorites right there.
It's not going to be as easy to vote this week,
No,
for sure.
it's not. People have to really think about who they want to see move on. And then, I am so curious to see what happens here. Giving Tree against Harry Potter.
Ooh.
Oh. Right?
Ooh.
I mean, the Giving Tree, we just saw it win in a landslide, but you expect a lot coming from Harry Potter.
And it's a picture book. And
Yeah.
then Harry Potter,
Right.
whole series, movies.
Yeah. You know, I think the Giving Tree picks up a lot of steam just because it has that nostalgic, you know,
So,
people think back to
in
their
your
childhood. And
professional opinion,
Mhm.
who do you see moving on between that matchup?
I really am, I think I'm going to jump on the Giving Tree bandwagon here. I think
Could
I am.
be the Cinderella story of this
I
tournament.
think I'm going to ride them all the way to the championship. I'm going to climb up that tree, and I'm just going to sit it out there until the championship game.
All right.
And then our last matchup is also a really good one. You know, Powerless versus Out of My Mind. I'm not sure. Have you read either of those books or no?
I have read Out of My Mind.
You have?
Yeah, so I'm an Out of My Mind fan, but Powerless really, I mean, just tore apart Hoot, right? There was
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't even close.
No,
So
no.
could be really, really a tough one too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Out of My Mind in this round now.
Well, we'll
I think
see.
they're going to ride the momentum.
The
into
Elite
the Final
8
Four.
is set for
It
3-5.
It is.
And it sounds like they will probably all be really
Oh,
close
they're all going to be
matchups.
nail biters for sure.
All right, well, book.
Yes, Paige, let's get to your
Well, the
exciting K2
yeah,
tournament.
the K2 tournament was not quite as close
No.
as I thought it was going to be. The higher seeds really just,
They just
got
blew
right
through it.
blew right through it. So,
Sometimes that happens in tournaments.
sometimes that does happen. First up, we had Flat Stanley versus Arthur. Arthur and his friends, out of here.
Flat Stanley.
Flat Stanley, moving on to the next round. I mean, this is a classic book that was written a long, long time ago.
It is.
And now they have a new author writing more Flat Stanley stories, so it's become popular.
I
again.
think here at Corton, because the Flat Bear Project's going on, I think,
that could be a tie.
I
That
think
could be.
that might be why.
Now, we had all of the Dr. Seuss books going against Harry the Dirty Dog. Harry didn't get cleaned up at all. He's not making
Well,
it on.
come on, you can't really.
But
how are you going to take down
Dr. Seuss. I mean, he's a genius.
He is.
Okay, then, chapter book. One of the few chapter books we have in here. Charlotte's Web versus the other pig. The pig that went head-to-head with the other pig.
Did the pig forget his place? I mean, did the elephant forget his place?
No, the elephant took on the Charlotte's Web and took
No.
them out of the tournament.
No.
Took them right out of the tournament.
Can
Yep.
you believe it, Courtney?
So, Piggy and Elephant, they move on to see another book.
Unbelievable.
All right, then we have Junie B. Jones going up against Froggy. All right, well, poor Junie B. She's got to go back to first grade or kindergarten because she's no longer in the tournament either.
Yeah, Froggy. Froggy moves
Froggy
on.
and his red face move on to see another book.
I like it.
All right, next. This one was interesting. This was probably our closest matchup, but I'm sorry, not our closest matchup. This was the first underdog. Believe it or not, K2 students, Scaredy Squirrel was an underdog coming into this. And they totally took out Henry and Mudge. So Scaredy Squirrel and the Nut Tree, they move on.
Scaredy Squirrel.
All right.
It's my book.
Then we had the Magic Treehouse series, Jack and Annie and their magic of traveling back in time.
That's right.
Versus Mercy Watson and her toast and butter that she eats every day. Mercy, I'm sorry. Go home, eat your toast and butter because you're no longer in the tournament. We've just got Magic Treehouse series left. Let me check my notes on this one. Yep, closest one we had. 119 votes for Fly Guy. Narrowly squeaked by, beating Pete the Cat. So Pete and his tennis shoes, they're going to the bench. And Fly Guy moves on. And then our last matchup was Nate the Great versus Pigeon. And Nate the Great got to go solve some other mystery somewhere else because Pigeon's going on to the Elite 8.
Wow.
I know.
So what does that leave us with? I can't wait to hear these matchups.
Well, that leaves us with some very interesting matchups. Flat Stanley. Oh, Flat Stanley.
Oh,
has
no!
to go against Scaredy Squirrel.
You know I'm rooting for Scaredy Squirrel. He's one of my favorites.
Who to vote for, though? Like
I
you
don't
said,
know.
Flat Stanley's got a connection.
Could you
with
imagine
the Flat
either
Bear.
one of these not being in the tournament from this point on?
One of them is going to go home
I know,
at the end of this.
That's what's so tough.
It's
about
not going to
this
make
time
it to
of
the
the
next
year.
week. I know. All right, my next matchup is Piggy and Elephant versus Fly Guy. Two books that got a lot of votes. Both make believe. I don't know. They both got friends. Fly Guy has his best buddy. Piggy and Elephants are buddies.
I don't know a lot about either of these books. Could you? What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know. This is I think that this one's going to be super close because I think the boys really like Fly Guy and really have a connection with them. But then I think a lot of people love Piggy and Elephant because it's a series. So there's a lot of adventures. A lot of adventures.
Series books do well in the tournament. That's
I know.
for sure.
Okay, Dr. Seuss, the entire collection of all Dr. Seuss books. This one's tricky. Magic Treehouse series.
Oh.
Chapter book versus our beloved, favorite picture books, things that we've read all the time. I don't know. I'm surprised actually that Jack and Annie made it.
Yeah, I think
second
they're
round.
going to have a tough round. I think they have a tough time in the debates.
And my last one, which I think will be the hardest for everyone, although these are all difficult. Froggy goes head to head with Pigeon.
No.
Both have problems in their stories. Both have silly things that go on. That's
Let's
our
hope
new.
they don't get too silly on the courts.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. So, anyways, that is our Elite Eight.
These are exciting.
For K2.
That's exciting.
I know. The kids are really going to have to start voting.
They are, and they're going to have to really think about their votes.
Think about it. Really think about
Yeah.
it. Well, Book.
Paige?
I've had an extremely exciting week in my class with all of the reading stamina that's going on. And the basketball shots.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Guess who's making more shots in my class right now? Boys or girls?
I'm going to go with girls because I'm a girl.
Girls are making more of the shots.
Wow.
Showing those boys a thing or two about basketball in my classroom.
They should. Well, I think that's it from Book Center today.
I think so.
And we will be back next week with the final four.
Wow.
So, Quarton students, get to voting. Really think before you make your selection this week because 4 books move on and 4 books go home.
In the meantime, stay literate, Birmingham.
I'm Paige Newberry.
And I'm Book Caldecott.
We'll see you next week.